This video did not exist in your timeline until you consciously directed your attention to it. Your higher self collapsed a wave of infinite probability just to bring you this exact message at this exact moment. Today, we are going to expose one of the greatest secrets of the quantum field and the observer effect. We are going to talk about why laughing at the matrix is the ultimate key to bending reality. By the end of this transmission, you will completely understand your absolute true power as the divine creator of your own experience. Tell me, have you ever felt like this whole world is just a ridiculous, elaborate joke, and you are the only one in on the punchline? To understand what is happening when you laugh at the matrix, we must first look at the foundation of your reality. In esoteric quantum mechanics, the universe is not made of solid, unchangeable matter. It is a vast, shimmering ocean of pure energy, a quantum field where infinite possibilities exist simultaneously as invisible waves of probability. These waves remain in a state of suspended animation until a consciousness interacts with them. This is the observer effect. But here is what the system hides from you. Observation is not merely looking with your eyes. True observation is the active projection of your emotional frequency and belief onto the field, which then forces that invisible wave to instantly collapse into the solid, three-dimensional physical experience you call your life. Have you ever found yourself in a situation so overwhelmingly chaotic, stressful, or downright disastrous that instead of breaking down into tears or panicking, you just started to laugh uncontrollably? Society and psychological conditioning call this an inappropriate emotional reaction. People around you might look at you as if you have completely lost your mind. But what is actually happening in that precise second is a profound, life-altering spiritual phenomenon. This is not a mere psychological defense mechanism, as traditional materialistic science would desperately have you believe. This is a brilliant moment of spontaneous spiritual awakening. When you laugh at the absolute worst possible time, your soul is actively piercing through the dense, fabricated illusion of this physical world. Your higher consciousness is suddenly recognizing the sheer, undeniable absurdity of the three-dimensional reality matrix. You are abruptly stepping out of the heavily programmed script that constantly demands your fear, your anxiety, and your endless suffering. In that fleeting, beautiful moment of unexpected amusement, you are no longer a helpless victim of your external circumstances. You have instantly shifted from being a powerless character trapped in a dramatic play to becoming the master director who realizes the stage props are just made of cheap cardboard. This laughter is the literal sound of your energetic chains breaking into a million pieces. It is the ultimate cosmic rebellion against a lower density system. But what if I told you that the entire three-dimensional matrix is completely dependent on your unquestioning belief in its seriousness? It absolutely requires your heavy, dense, emotional investment to miraculously sustain its solid structure. Think about it very carefully. The mainstream news, the rigid societal expectations, the endless, exhausting rush for basic physical survival. All of these external elements are meticulously and intentionally designed to keep your focus narrowed deeply down into survival mode. The architects of this reality want your consciousness firmly anchored in a state of perpetual fear and urgency. But what actually happens when you dare to introduce a completely contradictory frequency into this dense, dark field? What happens when you just laugh at the chaos? Laughter inherently carries one of the highest, lightest, and most expansive vibrational frequencies in the known universe. When you powerfully emit this specific frequency during a situation that logically demands your absolute terror or deep sorrow, you create a massive, irreversible, energetic short circuit in the matrix software. You are essentially screaming to the quantum field that you completely refuse to buy into the illusion. You are actively refusing to feed the energetic pendulum of the chaotic situation. The Matrix presents a terrifying monster, and instead of running away, you point directly at it and laugh at its ridiculous costume. Let us dive much deeper into the true, hidden nature of the observer effect, looking at it directly through the powerful lens of ancient metaphysics rather than just dry science. The observer effect conclusively proves that the simple act of observation actively changes the behavior of subatomic particles. In the infinite quantum field, absolutely everything exists merely as a wave of endless probability until a conscious, aware observer focuses directly upon it. This intense focus forces the wave to instantly collapse into a single, tangible physical reality. But here is the massive secret that the controllers of the Matrix desperately want to keep hidden from your awareness. True quantum observation is an active, dynamic, and highly charged emotional process. When you look at a massive problem and you feel deep terror in your heart, you are effectively collapsing the quantum wave into a fixed reality of continued terror and guaranteed failure. You are giving a strict command to the field to give you more of what perfectly matches that dense, heavy frequency. However, when you look at that exact same catastrophic probability and you simply laugh with genuine amusement, you completely scramble the energetic signal. You suddenly become a wildly unpredictable observer. You forcefully compel the quantum field to entirely recalculate the final outcome based on this new, incredibly elevated frequency of joy. This directly brings us to the profound and shocking realization of how your emotions act as the true, undisputed architects of your physical reality. The Matrix is not a physical prison made of iron bars and concrete walls. It is a highly sophisticated vibrational prison. It successfully traps you by accurately predicting your lower emotional responses and then continuously feeding you specific holographic scenarios that perfectly trigger those exact predictable responses. This creates an endless, exhausting loop of suffering and limitation. It fully expects you to be incredibly angry when someone insults you, completely devastated when you lose something material, and absolutely terrified when your future seems dark and uncertain. But your eternal soul deeply knows that none of this physical drama is ultimately real. It is merely an immersive educational simulation for the vast expansion of your consciousness. When you laugh at an inappropriate time, you are violently breaking the expected algorithmic code of the Matrix. You are demonstrating absolute, undeniable emotional mastery over the physical realm. You are showing the universe that your internal state of being is absolutely no longer dictated by fake external circumstances. This is the truest definition of spiritual power. You rapidly become a master of manifestation because you no longer let the outside world blindly program your inside world. I want you to completely reimagine the concept of synchronicity. Do not just view it as a random series of vaguely meaningful coincidences, but as direct, instantaneous, real-time feedback from the living quantum field. When you laugh directly in the face of the Matrix, you immediately and forcefully elevate your internal vibrational set point. You instantly align your energy with a much higher dimension of pure consciousness, a place where struggle is universally recognized as a laughable illusion. Almost immediately after you make this internal shift, you will begin to notice the invisible field aggressively responding to your new state. This is exactly when the true magic happens in your life. You might begin to experience bizarre, almost comical synchronicities that defy all logical explanation. You might randomly encounter strangers who say the exact specific words you needed to hear, or you might find that the massive, terrifying problem you are facing simply dissolves into thin air, entirely on its own, due to some completely unforeseen, impossible circumstance. These synchronicities are the conscious universe winking back at you. They are absolute confirmation that you have successfully collapsed a dark, negative timeline and instantly shifted yourself onto a much higher, golden track of reality. The Matrix entirely loses its grip on you the moment you stop taking its threats seriously. But what if I told you that your entire physical life up to this exact moment has been a carefully orchestrated series of spiritual tests, designed solely to see if you would finally wake up to this cosmic joke? Every single time you face a massive setback, a painful rejection, or a sudden loss, it is not a punishment. It is a brilliant, open invitation from your higher self to exercise your dormant power as a reality creator. Most sleeping humans instantly fail this test by sinking deeply into despair and victimhood, effectively telling the quantum field to continuously give them more reasons to be perfectly miserable. They remain hopelessly trapped in the heavy karmic wheel of cause and effect, reacting automatically like poorly programmed biological robots. But you are distinctly different. The very fact that your consciousness was drawn to this specific knowledge today means you are among the incredibly rare 1% who are fully ready to step completely off the wheel. When everything goes terribly wrong and you feel that strange, sudden urge to just smile, do absolutely not suppress it. That simple smile is the sacred activation code of your absolute highest potential. It is your higher, multidimensional self merging directly with your physical human avatar. You are literally downloading highly advanced cosmic data in that beautiful moment of joy. Let us deeply examine a very relatable, real-life example to firmly ground this profound metaphysical concept in your mind. Imagine you have prepared exhaustively for months for a crucial presentation or a highly anticipated life-changing opportunity. You have perfectly visualized the outcome, you have worked incredibly hard, and you have done absolutely everything right in the physical sense. But on the morning of the massive event, absolutely everything that can possibly go wrong actively goes wrong. Your car engine fails, you completely lose your digital files, and a massive storm ruins your expensive new clothes. The old, Matrix-programmed version of your avatar would violently fall into a state of absolute crushing despair, loudly cursing the universe and tearfully asking why this bad luck always happens. But the newly awakened you, stepping into the role of the quantum observer, simply stops for a moment in the pouring rain, looks directly up at the grey sky, and just bursts into pure, uncontrollable laughter. You genuinely laugh at the sheer, improbable, mathematical perfection of the complete disaster. In that exact, powerful second, you completely depolarize the chaotic energetic field around you. The heavy, suffocating charge of the negative situation vanishes instantly. You have completely and utterly neutralized the destructive potential. The hidden mechanics of this massive energetic shift are deeply rooted in the absolute true understanding of exactly how to create your own reality. Modern manifestation teachings often miss the mark entirely. True manifestation is absolutely not about forcing the universe to violently bend to your ego's will through sheer, exhausting mental effort. It is certainly not about desperately repeating affirmations about what you want, while secretly, deeply fearing you will never actually get it. True quantum manifestation is the delicate art of absolute vibrational alignment, and absolutely nothing aligns you with the infinite, staggering abundance of the quantum field faster than a pure state of joyful detachment. When you genuinely laugh at a seemingly massive problem, you are perfectly practicing the absolute highest form of spiritual detachment. You are energetically stating to the entire cosmos, "I am perfectly okay and whole, regardless of what happens in this temporary physical hologram. This state of absolute, unbothered, unshakable peace is the exact, precise frequency required to miraculously manifest the impossible. The law of attraction is bound by strict universal design to perfectly match your dominant vibration. If you vibrate with the light, airy joy of knowing you are eternal, the field must materialize circumstances that perfectly reflect that. I want you to deeply think about the profound concept of the power of thought. Look at it not as a mystical, unprovable fairy tale, but as literal, measurable, physical physics. Every single thought you generate creates a distinct electrical charge inside your physical brain. Every emotion you deeply feel generates a massive magnetic field radiating from your heart center. Together, your swirling thoughts and intense emotions constantly broadcast a highly specific electromagnetic signature out into the vast quantum field, 24 hours a day, without ever pausing. The three-dimensional matrix reality is simply a dense, highly responsive mirror, reflecting this exact electromagnetic signature back to you as solid physical events, people, and circumstances. When you are hopelessly trapped in the thick illusion of seriousness and fear, your energetic signature is incredibly dense, slow, and contracted. Naturally, you attract incredibly heavy, difficult, and painful experiences. But genuine laughter is a massive energetic explosion. It instantly and violently expands your electromagnetic field outward. It blasts through deep energetic blockages in your chakras and instantly purifies your entire aura. When you laugh at the illusion of the matrix, you are instantly changing the cosmic radio station of your consciousness. It is exactly here that the ultimate key to mastering both quantum physics and your own consciousness truly lies. You must deeply understand that the three-dimensional physical world is inherently and frustratingly delayed. Because matter is incredibly dense and vibrating very slowly, it physically takes time for your massive energetic shifts to finally materialize as solid, touchable reality. This frustrating delay is exactly where most sleeping people completely lose their fragile faith and violently fall right back into the deep matrix programming. They enthusiastically change their vibration for a single day, see absolutely no immediate physical miracles, and then instantly plunge right back into deep fear and anger. But the awakened quantum observer intuitively knows the absolute truth. When you laugh fearlessly, directly in the face of massive adversity, the corresponding shift in the quantum field happens instantly, at a level completely beyond human time and physical space. The energetic wave has already permanently collapsed into a new, incredibly beautiful reality. Your slow physical eyes just cannot perceive it yet. Laughter serves as the unbreakable energetic bridge of true faith. It is your soul confidently declaring, "I already know the beautiful ending of this physical movie, and it is a wonderful comedy, not a dark tragedy." Consider the deeply strange and mystical sensation of experiencing déjà vu. Many ancient spiritual traditions correctly teach that déjà vu is a profound marker, a glowing signpost directly from your higher self, indicating that you are exactly where you are supposed to be on your chosen timeline. But there is a much deeper, hidden layer to this fascinating phenomenon. Sometimes, the absolute most intense and overwhelming moments of déjà vu occur precisely when things seem to be going completely, horribly wrong, and you suddenly find yourself unexpectedly and inexplicably laughing. This is absolutely not a random brain glitch. This is a massive quantum convergence. In that specific moment of wildly inappropriate laughter, you are aligning so perfectly and flawlessly with the core vibration of your eternal soul that you briefly, completely merge with the vast perspective of your higher self. From that incredibly elevated, multi-dimensional vantage point, you suddenly remember that you actually planned this exact, difficult challenge long before you even incarnated into a physical body. You clearly see the divine, cosmic humor in how incredibly seriously your human avatar is taking the temporary game. You are waking up and remembering the script. The spontaneous laughter is the physical, audible manifestation of that divine remembrance. The absolute true power of highly evolved consciousness is its remarkable ability to remain completely untouched and unbothered by the temporary illusions it projects. Imagine yourself sitting alone in a massive, dark movie theater. Up on the giant screen, a terrifying, intensely dramatic scene is playing out loudly. The unawakened person is sitting tensely in the very front row, aggressively sweating, crying, and gripping the armrests in absolute, genuine terror, completely and utterly convinced that the flashing movie is real life. But the awakened, quantum observer is sitting comfortably in the very back row. They are watching the exact same dramatic movie, but they are completely relaxed, eating popcorn and softly laughing to themselves. They deeply appreciate the incredible special effects, they admire the convincing acting, but they never, for a single fraction of a second, forget that it is just projected light hitting a blank white screen. This is precisely what you are doing when you manage to laugh at a massive crisis in your physical life. You are intentionally stepping far back from the chaotic front row of the matrix. You are remembering that you are the projector, the brilliant light, and the screen itself. You realize the dense reality is just a temporary projection. This profound realization absolutely demands a massive, radical shift in exactly how you choose to navigate your daily, physical existence. It means that you can literally no longer afford the dangerous luxury of indulging in a sustained negative thought. This absolutely does not mean you dangerously suppress your natural human emotions. Rather, it means you begin to observe them clearly without ever becoming them. When deep sadness, fiery anger, or cold fear arise in your body, you welcome them as passing physical sensations, but you absolutely do not let them sit in the driver's seat of your reality creation vehicle. You view them simply as dark, passing clouds in the infinite, bright sky of your eternal awareness. And when the highly sophisticated matrix throws its heaviest, most incredibly dramatic tests at you, desperately trying to pull you forcefully back into the old, heavy karmic loop, your absolute greatest, most devastating weapon is your stubborn refusal to take it seriously. You must actively cultivate a deep inner smile that remains completely undisturbed by the swirling chaos of the external world. Treat every single massive obstacle as a brilliant cosmic riddle designed specifically for your personal amusement and rapid spiritual evolution. The highly commercialized concept of spiritual awakening is very often deeply misunderstood as a solemn, incredibly serious journey involving endless emotional suffering, deep trauma healing, and austere, rigid discipline. But if you look closely, the absolute highest spiritual masters of this universe are always depicted with a subtle, deeply knowing smile on their faces. Why is this? Because they know the ultimate hidden truth of existence is an incredibly joyous, ecstatic, and playful dance of pure energy. The architects of the Matrix desperately want you to believe that true spirituality is incredibly hard work, so that you stay permanently trapped in the exhausting paradigm of intense effort and endless struggle. But the true quantum field is breathtakingly effortless. It operates entirely on the universal principles of natural flow and the path of least resistance. When you aggressively force things, you instantly create massive energetic blockages. When you softly laugh and completely let go, you instantly open the massive floodgates of universal abundance. That spontaneous, unexpected laugh, when your entire world falls apart, is actually the absolute truest, most powerful spiritual practice you could ever possibly perform in this lifetime. Let us look closely at exactly how this directly applies to the specific burning desires you are desperately trying to magically manifest in your physical life right now. Perhaps you are trying intensely to manifest absolute financial freedom, a deep, magnetic soulmate connection, or perfect, glowing physical health. If you are consistently approaching these desires with a heavy, suffocating sense of lack, deep seriousness, and quiet desperation, you are powerfully pushing them further and further away into the distance. The responsive quantum field reads your intense desperation as a clear, energetic statement that you absolutely do not have these things, and it dutifully provides you with a physical reality where you continue to desperately lack them. But aggressively imagine looking directly at your current, painful lack of these things and simply chuckling deeply at the sheer absurdity of it. Imagine deeply realizing that as an infinite, powerful, eternal creator being, lacking small pieces of green paper with numbers on them, or temporarily lacking a physical human partner, is fundamentally, cosmically hilarious in the grand, eternal scheme of the cosmos. In that exact moment of genuine, light-hearted amusement, you instantly drop all energetic resistance. This is the profound, tightly guarded secret of those incredibly rare individuals who seem to effortlessly move through physical life with impossible grace and staggering, unbelievable luck. They are absolutely not spiritually better than you, and they are certainly not randomly chosen by some external, judgmental deity. They have simply and quietly mastered the ancient art of quantum observation. They have successfully learned not to take the heavy three-dimensional physical illusions seriously. They actively treat everyday reality exactly like a highly vivid, lucid dream. In a lucid dream, when a massive, terrifying monster suddenly appears in front of you, you absolutely do not run away in screaming terror, because you are consciously aware that you are safely dreaming in your bed. You might confidently laugh at the monster, snap your ethereal fingers, and instantly turn it into a harmless flock of beautiful butterflies. I need you to know that you have this exact, precise, identical power in the physical waking world, because the waking world is ultimately just a significantly denser, much slower vibrating version of a dream. It is merely a shared, highly stabilized holographic projection of mass human consciousness. You must deeply understand that every single rigid system in this dense, three-dimensional world, including mainstream politics, global economics, and rigid societal norms, is intentionally constructed to keep you perpetually engaged in a state of highly serious, incredibly heavy polarization. They constantly demand that you pick a side, get furious, fight aggressively, and endlessly defend your limited position. This constant, exhausting polarization generates a massive, continuous amount of incredibly dense emotional energy that literally feeds and sustains the artificial matrix construct. When you actively participate in this forced seriousness, you are willingly giving away your precious, divine life force energy to continuously build the walls of your own invisible prison. But genuine, unforced laughter is the absolute ultimate energetic depolarizer. It is perfectly neutral, infinitely expansive, and beautifully unifying. When you calmly witness the highly chaotic theater of the modern world and consciously choose to simply smile at the wild absurdity of the badly written script, rather than getting emotionally entangled and drained by it, you instantly become a powerful, energetic black hole for negative energy. The persistent illusion of linear time is perhaps the absolute most convincing and destructive trick the Matrix system plays on your human consciousness. It deeply convinces you that the past is fixed and unchangeable, and the future is a terrifying, rapidly approaching unknown that you must somehow desperately control. This creates a constant, low-level state of vibrating anxiety, anchoring your consciousness firmly in the absolute lowest, densest frequencies of animalistic survival. But true, advanced quantum science reveals that absolutely all time exists simultaneously right now in the eternal, infinite present moment. Everything that has ever happened in history, and everything that will ever possibly happen, is existing right now as a suspended possibility in the vast quantum field. When you boldly laugh at a situation that the Matrix violently insists is incredibly urgent and deeply terrifying, you instantly step completely out of linear time. You consciously enter the highly charged quantum zero-point field. In this sacred space of profound, untouchable stillness and vibrating joy, you are absolutely no longer bound by ancient past karma or fabricated future anxieties. You are completely and utterly present. As you begin to deeply integrate this profound, reality-altering truth into your daily life, you will begin to notice a massive, radical shift in your everyday physical experience. Minor things that used to intensely irritate you will suddenly seem incredibly comical and completely insignificant. People who used to effortlessly trigger your deep anger will simply appear to you as totally unaware actors, flawlessly playing their difficult roles in the play. You will rapidly develop a brilliant sense of cosmic humor, a truly unshakable, radiant lightness of being. This absolutely does not mean you will magically stop facing physical challenges entirely. You are, after all, still inhabiting a physical body, actively playing the intense game of human life on Earth. But your fundamental relationship to those inevitable challenges will be permanently and beautifully altered. You will absolutely no longer view them as cruel cosmic punishments or impossible, insurmountable obstacles. You will excitedly view them as highly interesting puzzles, perfect opportunities to flex your growing manifestation muscles, and brilliantly demonstrate your absolute mastery over the responsive quantum field. You are currently standing right at the very threshold of a massive, unprecedented evolutionary leap in human consciousness. The very fact that you are actively receiving and deeply resonating with this specific transmission right now means your eternal soul is fully prepared to finally shed the heavy, incredibly outdated skin of the three-dimensional matrix. You are completely ready to step fully into your immense power as a sovereign, multi-dimensional being of pure light. From this exact moment forward, I want you to make a deeply conscious, unbreakable pact with yourself. The very next time the Matrix desperately tries to violently pull you back into a state of deep fear, crushing doubt, or heavy despair, you must pause. Take a very deep, conscious breath. Actively connect with the eternal, infinite, burning power residing within your chest, and just boldly smile. Let out a genuine laugh that completely shatters the fragile illusion. Feel the immediate, intoxicating rush of absolute freedom as you rapidly detach from the artificial drama and perfectly align your energy with the pure, limitless potential of the vast quantum field. You are absolutely not a helpless victim. The ultimate truth is this: you are not a tiny, insignificant human merely existing inside a massive, predetermined reality. You are the infinite reality itself, temporarily using a human avatar to observe its own magnificent creation. The Matrix only exists because you continue to agree to observe it through the incredibly distorted lens of fear and absolute seriousness. But the moment you choose to laugh, you withdraw your energetic consent. You remind the quantum field that you are the true master, the divine architect, and the unstoppable creator of your own experience. Thank you for tuning into this frequency today. If this message resonated deep within your soul, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like to actively anchor this powerful realization into the collective grid. To physically activate this new quantum timeline in your own life right now, write these exact words in the comments below. I am the observer creating reality. I leave you with this final question to ponder. What wild synchronicities or strange matrix glitches have you personally noticed in your life since you started waking up?